Ah, fiery as ever. What an inspiring sight.
Oh, hey Ferdinand. You think so? The way I see it, a mercenary who doesn't train every day probably won't stay a merc for long.
I cannot dispute your logic. Though, I must say, you never did strike me as a typical mercenary. And your upward trajectory has proven me right. To go from nothing to a commander rivaling even the finest of nobles as quickly as you have is astounding. You are the most intriguing woman.
Well, that's because I've made a habit of giving my all. I'm honestly just happy to have earned Edelgard's respect.
You're all, you say?
Something wrong?
To the contrary, I find your attitude inspirational. We are birds of a feather, you and I. Every task I undertake must also be done to utmost perfection. Polishing my armor? It shall have a mirror sheen. Cooking a meal? Let not even a single ingredient go to waste. True nobility means surmounting any challenge before you with no less than every fiber of your being.
That's taking it a little far, don't you think? Maybe you're not wasting food, but what about your time and energy? And I'm not any sort of noble, you know.
I am aghast. Are you suggesting that devoting myself fully to every endeavor is wasteful?
I mean, yeah. If you put your all into every little thing, you'll run out of stamina right when you need it most. You're like the knight in that proverb, the one who spends all day building a fence around his Pegasus, only for it to fly away.
Valuable advice for a Pegasus, perhaps, but I am no beast. I am Ferdinand von Ayer.
I know that you're different. I do. But everyone needs to take it easy sometimes. If you always keep your bowstring taut, it's just gonna snap when you actually need to fire.
I assure you I am no bowstring either. But I take your point. However, there is no cause for concern. As I have told you on multiple occasions, I am Ferdinand von Ayer. Whether I am resting, enjoying leisurely pursuits, or simply in contemplation, I always apply all my energy to the task at hand. At work or at rest, I will forever give it my all. Ha ha ha!
Seriously? What's full-on resting even look like?
Ah, Ferdinand. I hadn't realized you'd returned to the palace.
Yes, here I am. Not that I have official business like you.
Then why come such a long way? Ah, I see. You're here to visit your father.
I am ashamed to say this was my first time seeing him in his cell. My father insisted I stay away for my own safety. Though I must confess, the dungeon was not the horrid place I had imagined it to be. I was envisioning, you know, fiery hot pokers, spikes, that manner of thing.
Oh. Then it may interest you to know that we do actually have such a dungeon. I've only seen it once myself. It's further down from where we're keeping the former Duke. It's a dismal place. One where rats scurry to and fro.
Rats? I do not imagine Father would cope well with that at all. While he did look haggard, it sounds as though his treatment could be far, far worse.
We're doing our best to keep him in good health. The rest will depend on his frame of mind.
Well, you will hear no complaints from me. I care only that he is kept alive and given a fair trial, and that his punishment fits the crime, of course.
You'd better speed things along then, because Hubert is quickly losing patience.
A fact of which I am very well aware. The problem is that I remain unable to connect my father to many of the acts he is accused of.
Perhaps you're wasting your time. A noble as powerful as your father could easily have documents forged and witnesses bought off. Any records that remain will be considered far too dubious to prove guilt or innocence.
Another fact I am very much aware of. In truth, I already found proof some time ago. Proof of his corruption, that is. I discovered it while looking through his tax records. When I realized what he had done, I was ready to serve him up to the authorities myself.
Your own father? I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I mean it. I thought I could carefully build a solid case against him while studying at the academy. However, you had him clapped in irons before I could have my case organized. Now there is a bit of comedy. I idolized my father ever since I was a child. Yet I had to push those feelings aside in order to muster the anger to punish him. Now I find myself trapped between both of those emotions with no resolution in sight.
I see. And tell me, is that the end of your story? I thought you were going to become Prime Minister, keep me in line, surpass me even.
Oh, well, I did not mean...
You can still share words with your father and see him punished for his crimes, you know. So, if you desire resolution, start resolving matters. It's never too late.
Another clear victory for the Empire in battle. You can surely guess who stole the show yet again.
Our mercenary friend? Always a force upon the battlefield, that one.
Their approach on the battlefield is exceptional, yet their curious power has also proved quite the boon.
It is deeply fascinating, isn't it? Something beyond the principles of magic, and yet different from the power of crests. I might go so far as to say it veers close to the realm of dark magic, but I fear that's beyond my expertise.
I am possessed of some small knowledge, yet still fail to understand the nature of that power.
Then at present we can do nothing but throw our hands to the sky. And with that, I must be off.
Oh? I thought you would be more curious about our mercenary ally. Would you truly raise the white flag merely because the matter lies outside your usual ken?
What are you playing at, Hubert? If you want me to investigate a specimen, go ahead. Hook it and reel it in.
Ah, but you are the better angler of the two of us. Furthermore, my method of hooking would complicate our relationship with so valued an ally. An inducement from your lips would ensure things proceed more smoothly.
Well, this is becoming a hassle. Can't you push yourself to learn some new hooking strategies? Like, I don't know, one befitting the elegance of a true nobleman? Involving fancy tea, perhaps?
A positively hair-raising notion. Please, do not speak it aloud again.
Then maybe get in their face and pick a fight with them. You two could end up becoming fast friends.
So you wish me to shout myself hoarse and swing my fists about like a common ruffian? I shall pretend I did not hear that suggestion.
No? Then the only option left is aggressive persuasion, driven home at the point of an axe, let's say.
Linhardt, who in the world are you talking about right now? I should think there is no one quite so barbarous in our own army.
Oh, I didn't have anyone particular in mind. I was just brainstorming new methods to ensnare our illustrious mercenary friend. Why? Did they remind you of acquaintances of ours?
In any event, let us leave this sleeping dog where it lies. I do not dislike conversing with you, but we seem to procure results of little benefit when we do. And with that, I have matters to attend to and must be off. Farewell.
Until next time, Hubert. So when can I expect you to have reeled in our mercenary friend? I suspect we'd make headway on the research if we engaged in it together.
I'm afraid I've not the time to play along with your capricious whims, Linhardt. I will, of course, be cheering you on with some enthusiasm from the shadows as you hook the subject yourself.
Hey there, Petra. Off to train? I'll join you.
That would give me much joy. An opponent with toughness will keep me upon my toes.
You mean me? Nah, you're way tougher than I am. Also, aren't you a queen now? I didn't realize dawn to dusk training was part of the Brigid Royal Regimen.
I have not become queen yet, but there is an understanding that it will happen. And yes, in Brigid, royalty must have knowledge of fighting. I mean, we must know how to fight. To be leading our people, a ruler must have more strength than any other. They must be the hardest to kill. My people are expecting this of me.
So it's the toughest person calling the shots, huh? I love it. What could possibly go wrong?
This is how it is meant to be working. But such things do not always go with smoothness. Mercenaries are always seeking strength too, correct?
That's true. A merc lives and dies by the sword. If you're not better than the next opponent you face, they'll be the last one you face.
Yes, dying is without productivity. But it gives me surprise that you do not avoid jobs of danger. A queen must be facing any wolf who comes to her door. But you can have pickiness when selecting fights.
Depends on how much food you can put on the table that week. Most of us mercs barely scrape by hand to mouth. End of the day, it's just business. Some mercs will take the coin and blow town, and some employers are more than happy to hang us all out to dry. I guess you don't have a lot of sellswords in Brigid, huh?
Correct. We do not require the selling of swords. In Brigid, everyone is a hunter. Everyone is a fisher. Everyone is a warrior. There is no need to be hiring, or to be hired.
That sounds incredible. In a place like that, nobody'd have to risk their life just to get a bite to eat.
Your words give me great happiness. I will always be full of pride for Brigid.
Wait, what?
Bernadetta, is that a letter from your mother?
Huh? Oh, Lady Edelgard! Yes, she wrote me from the capital. Wait, how did you know that? Are you screening my mail? Spying on my correspondence?
Bernadetta, is there anyone else who would write you?
Of course there is! There's, that guy? Wait, I don't have any friends. I don't even have any family. I don't have anybody! Poor Bernie's all alone in this cold, cruel world.
Easy, Bernadetta. You have plenty of friends. They simply don't need to write to you because you're fighting in the same army.
Wait, really? Well, that's a relief.
Also, how can you claim to have no family when your mother writes you regularly? That's certainly more than I can say.
Oh, right. I forgot about your, parent situation. Guess I shouldn't be complaining, huh?
It's fine. Just be thankful that your mother is in good health. And make sure to write back so she doesn't worry.
I always do. Pages and pages.
That reminds me, have you heard from your father? I'm sure he had much adjusting to do after I installed him in Garreg Mach as the head of the Southern Church.
Nothing from him, but my mother keeps me up to date in her letters. She has his attendance and her regular reports. The last update was something like, "Your father is so scared of the Central Church's assassins, he's locked himself away up in the third-story reception hall. They have to drag him out kicking and screaming whenever it's time to deal with clerical affairs."
I'm certain I heard a similar tale when another noble first relocated to Garreg Mach.
Really? Huh. Oh, but the locking himself in his room part sure sounds a lot like me, doesn't it?
Yes, although you've come a long way from the reclusive, shy girl you used to be. Back at the Officers' Academy, you used to take your shunning of people to something of an extreme.
Do you really think I'm that different now? It's hard for me to tell. Maybe knowing that my father has started hiding from the world helps, though. Now I don't have to stay inside to avoid seeing him, you know?
One might say your curse has been lifted, just like mine.
Wait, hang on. What's your curse?
Nothing. Please ignore what I said.
Oh, come on! You can't leave me in suspense like this!
Well, there's a face I'm not used to seeing on the training grounds. Something wrong, Hubert?
I have merely come to examine the equipment. I hear whispers that it is in quite the state. Further, my being here should come as no surprise. Her Majesty and I train in these grounds often.
No kidding? I don't think I've ever seen you two around here.
Naturally. We tend to pick times that allow us to avoid a crowd. In any case, if you do desire a session with either myself or Her Majesty, you only need ask. A mercenary with no backing such as yourself has much to gain by earning Lady Edelgard's favor. Of course, we would not be without benefit. Your rise in standing would paint an ideal picture for our people.
How do you mean?
Many commoners crave progress, a path upward in life, and your example would prove that path exists. The common folk would never expect to see their emperor train alongside someone of your dubious origins. At least not outside the pages of a fairy tale.
Dubious origins, huh? Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. Even so, it feels good to think about using that to help lift people up.
On the other hand, your presence would also cause great turmoil amongst the elites of our society. They may even despise you. A symbol of the ungrateful commoner, granted privilege well beyond their station.
Oof. But hey, Dorothea's a commoner too. Why don't they hate her?
Dorothea is a famed former songstress, well esteemed in the upper echelons of society. Your situation is vastly different.
Right. Well, no point worrying about it if it's gonna happen no matter what.
Precisely. Things may yet change in the years ahead, but for now, all we can do is live with it.
So coddling the elites means the commoners end up oppressed, while hoisting commoners up only agitates the elites. Glad I'm not the one who has to rule the Empire. This whole thing sounds like a total mess.
A mess, indeed.
Oh, Edelgard. I'm glad I found you. Got a few?
Of course. What is it?
Well, remember how Hubert laid into me after the Knights of Saros raided Enbar? It got me thinking. What do I need to do for you to trust me again?
Nothing. Hubert and I stopped doubting you the moment that business was behind us. You worked tirelessly for me, and I'm grateful for that. So please, there's no need to worry.
Still, we have no idea when those who slither in the dark might try to interfere again. Honestly, it kind of feels like there's more I should be doing to help. Like I'm just floating around without a purpose or something.
Very well. What do you propose?
If I had to pick something, I'd say protecting you would be my top priority. Everyone's got a bone to pick with you, especially the Church and those who slither in the dark, and they won't rest till they have your head. After all, the Imperial Army's not gonna lose if we've got you at the top handing down orders. And I figure Hubert'll stay off my back as long as I put my energy into keeping you safe. Then you can lead us to victory, and we'll all live trustfully ever after.
Perhaps, but I think you're forgetting something. The only way to protect me is by staying at my side, and therein lies a conundrum. Allowing you that close to me would in itself be proof of my trust, without which you would have never earned such an opportunity in the first place.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Still, I can't help but feel like that's what I've got to do to prove myself to you. Please, Edelgard, even if it just means shielding you from your enemies.
Very well. Do as you will. In the meanwhile, I'll tell Hubert... Well, I'm not entirely sure what I will tell him. At the very least, we know those who slither in the dark are able to shapeshift at will. So, in a way, it doesn't matter who I choose to surround myself with. They could just as well turn out to be someone wholly different.
Thanks, Edelgard. I honestly could have sworn you were gonna say no.
Of course. What I truly want to know is why you'd risk your life just to earn my trust.
Do you really have to ask? You reshaped my entire life. Before I met you, I had nobody. I was nobody. But you still chose me of all people to command one of your armies. Now I can't walk down the street without people yelling my name, and I've got a great life surrounded by amazing friends. All of it possible because of you.
That's not true. You would not have earned this post if you lacked the talent.
Maybe now, but before you came along, nobody in the Empire gave a Pegasus's backside about talent. You gave me a seat at the table when no one else would.
Ah, I see.
If you want proof you've changed the world, just take a look at me. Because this gal, she's a whole new person thanks to you.
Well, Bernie, you were nothing but trouble for everybody, yet again.
There you are. I was worried when you failed to appear at mealtime.
I'm fine. All quiet here.
Please do not tell me your hunger was so great that you resorted to eating those plants there. You should be careful. I have heard there is some rather poisonous flora in this area.
Hey, I'm not going to eat poison. What kind of dummy do you think I am? I know exactly which plants are safe and which ones aren't.
It is strange to see you this confident on a topic. But if you are so certain, I think I should give your eye a test. Just to be safe, you understand.
We're doing what now?
Ah, I know. What say we have a little game to see who can collect the most edible plants?
What?
And as an army can never have too much food, this will serve to benefit the others. What a splendid idea.
Oh, why me? Okay, so this one would cause stomach aches, and that one would be really bitter. I think. Oh, I don't know. I've only ever seen it in books. But hey, I'm sure it's fine. I'll also take this one, and this one, and this one. Oh, and that one over. Wait, is that Ferdinand?
Such luster, such size, such a gorgeous crimson. Yes, this looks like a scrumptious leaf indeed. And there are bulbs under this tree. Rich white bulbs with the luster of a precious pearl. Bernadetta! I see. You were frightened by a mouse scampering by and took a bit of a tumble when you fled, yes?
Yeah, and I dropped all my beautiful plants that your dumb game made me dumb collect.
Never mind that now. Show me your wound, please. Ah, yes. Just a scrape. Still, we should return to base and treat it before it festers.
Yeah, I suppose. Thanks for looking at it. Wait, that leaf! The one you're carrying!
This one? What of it? If you are hungry, we could snack on it while we walk back.
No! No! That plant has medicinal properties. It's a styptic.
Well, what luck. We can use it to treat your wound. Oh, I must say, your talent for identifying plants is no idle boast.
Yeah, I eyeballed them pretty well, huh? Now let's take a look at yours and... What?
Are you at a loss for words with the quality of the plants I gathered?
Every one of these is poisonous!
What? But the gorgeous leaf, the robust vine!
Death in plant form! Throw them away before we die!
And of course, I'm worried about those who struggle at combat.
Yes, we must do all we can to support them. I'll do my part to watch out for those who need help.
Thank you. We'll do this together.
Support people who struggle with combat, huh? If there's a more perfect job for me out there, I don't know what it is. You ready, Bernadetta? Let's go!
No! Why do I have to do this?
Why do you have to train, you mean?
It's not training, it's weird! This is torture and I'm gonna die!
Hey, calm down. You'll only be fighting me.
You're lying! There are people hiding in this armor and they're gonna attack me, aren't they?
That armor isn't big enough for a person to hide in.
You don't know that! I could absolutely hide inside one.
I mean, yeah, okay. You probably could.
See? I was right! Wait, this isn't the time for me to worry about that. The fact you're plotting against me is the issue here. Why do you hate me?
Look, Edelgard said we need to help people who struggle with fighting, all right? I'm just trying to put that into action.
Nah! You're gonna take me out with a surprise attack from the darkness! I know your game!
And how would I attack you from the darkness when we're standing in the middle of the training grounds in broad daylight? You think all these people walking by would see me try to murder you or whatever and just keep going?
No, they're watching me. I'm sure of it. Your armor is staring at me. Nope, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm going home to enjoy a life of freedom without my father.
What? You can't just run out on me here, Bernadetta. I mean, trying to detect people hidden in suits of armor. That's one of my father's traditional training drills. I don't know any other way to do it.
I don't need your lousy support, so just leave me alone!
Maybe I'm not cut out for this kind of thing.
Well, if it isn't Yuritsa. What are you doing out here all by your lonesome? Come to think of it, you were always at the training grounds when we were at the Officers' Academy, too.
It was quiet there.
You don't say. Personally, I prefer somewhere I can kick back with a nice drink. Speaking of which, we should get one together sometime. I'm sure Hanneman would spare a moment to join us.
I don't drink.
Too bad. I thought it would be a good chance for us to get to know each other. By the way, I've been wondering, why were you always hiding behind that mask? A waste of a perfectly handsome face, if you ask me. I like you much better this way.
It's not worth discussion.
From what I've heard, you're probably a good few years younger than me. Yet you're so mature. It's like you have this indescribable air of mystery. I bet there's some burning passion lurking beneath that icy exterior, longing for reprieve. I'm right, aren't I? It's in there somewhere, I just know it. Say, let's grab some drinks tonight and do nothing with them because you don't like to drink. I know. Why don't we go out dancing instead?
I could not reveal my face.
And then, when the sun rises, we can... Oh, what was that about your face? Why you hide it? Why do you hide it?
Some knew me to be a wanted criminal.
I find that hard to believe. Like they say, there are two sides to every story, right? But what made you want to tell me? A moment ago, you blew me off with that broody, none-of-your-business routine.
You would have kept talking if I didn't. Did I say something strange?
Sorry, I wasn't trying to tease. I just think you're cute when you're flustered. You've become quite the ladies' man. Just you wait. I don't give up that easily.
Huh?
An opera company smack dab in the middle of the Imperial capital, huh? I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I mean, I've been all over the place for my mercenary work, but it's mostly just been for small-time rural lords and the like. Honestly, I'd never even met anyone from the big cities like Enbar or Ferdiad before coming to Garreg Mach. Even after I ended up in the capital, all the glitz and glamour made me feel almost like I was living someone else's life instead of my own.
You know, shows in the capital are about 1,000 times flashier than the little town festival shows you might be used to. Every important moment of the drama is conveyed through elaborate song, and at the center of the musical ensemble stands its star, the diva.
I think I get the idea. These divas sound pretty incredible. They probably get stage names and everything if they're that important, huh?
Oh, but of course. I was known as the mystical songstress.
Hey, that's pretty good. There always has been this kind of indescribable aura surrounding you.
Thanks, but I have mixed feelings about the name myself. They called me that because of how suddenly a street orphan like me was discovered and debuted.
Yeah, I see how there could be some complicated feelings wrapped up in that. But if you were able to rise from that to diva, you must have the chops to back it up. Not that I can even picture what that would sound like. Hey, do you think you could sing something for me?
Since you asked so nicely, but I'm only doing it this once, okay?
How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land of flame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall.
Well, what did you think?
It was... yeah.
What, you didn't like it? Not quite the booming applause I'm used to.
No, it was incredible, honest. I was just kinda at a loss for words for a second there. That was like nothing else I've ever heard before. Sorry I can't really give you much more than that.
Oh, don't worry about it. This sort of thing happens more often than you'd think.
Well, as long as you're not mad. If you don't mind, though, maybe you could try again for me sometime? I'd really like to hear you sing some more. And hey, I might even get better at telling you what I thought.
Sure. I suppose I can give you one more chance.
Monica, why are you just standing there?
I was waiting for you. You were speaking with Her Majesty, yes?
Yep, just going over some strategy. Why? Did you need me for something?
No, not exactly. So, what did Her Majesty say?
Well, she wanted to get my opinion on how best to utilize our mercenaries, since they all use different weapons. We're gonna be fighting some upcoming battles on terrain that'll make it harder to use lances, so we were trying to figure out how to deal with that.
And you didn't speak of anything else?
Well, yeah, but it probably wouldn't interest you. Mercenary stuff, you know.
That's not quite what I meant. There was cake for everyone, was there not? And I'm pretty certain there were fresh flowers throughout the room. Did you not see them?
Oh, yeah, that cake was great. Did you want a piece? Flowers, though... I think maybe there were some little white ones?
Ugh, I have no interest in your opinion. I want to know what Her Majesty thought of them.
Why do you want to know so badly? Can't you just ask Edelgard?
You never know if a person is giving you their honest opinion when you spring a question on them. I just want to know what Her Majesty genuinely thought.
Can't help you there, I'm afraid. I wasn't really paying attention.
You were summoned by Her Majesty and granted the honor of giving her counsel. Then, she graciously offered you cake. And you didn't even have the decency to watch her eat it? Honestly, what is wrong with you?
Sorry if I let you down somehow. I don't think I really get what the big deal is, though. Want me to go ask her right now?
No, please don't. If Her Majesty learns I was prying about such things... I do not want to bother her with these trivialities. Forget I said anything.
I'm still confused, but I'll just go ask her real quick.
I said no! I'm serious! The truth is,
I was the one who made the cake and arranged the flowers, and I just wanted to hear how Her Majesty reacted.
All right, I get it. Well, not really, but...
I beg you, forget this ever happened. The situation is far more complicated than you realize.
Hey, Caspar. Oh, what's with the mountain of books?
Wait, please don't tell me you're planning to use them in your training somehow.
What kind of guy do you think I am? They're books. I'm gonna read them.
Read? A book? You? Did you eat something weird?
Come on, you sound just like Linhart. I've torn through books before, sometimes even 2 or 3 whole chapters a day.
Please don't use the word torn when it comes to books. You're going to make my heart stop. And books are divided into chapters, not chappers. Oh, Caspar, promise me you won't hurt those books.
You don't have to worry, Dorothea. I realized something the other day. A person who's responsible for troops can't rely on physical strength alone. You probably wouldn't guess it from how my father looks, but he's pretty good about that stuff.
Can't say I'm shocked that the Empire's Minister of Military Affairs has read the occasional book. Speaking of, you may have heard this story before, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Back during the War of the Eagle and Lion, there was an Imperial general named Francis who was quite proud of his strength. But while he was indeed strong, he was unlearned, and so everyone looked down on him.
Why do I feel like this story is gonna make me feel like an idiot?
Just listen. The Emperor at the time gave Francis an order to study, and said that if he didn't, he wouldn't be allowed to lead anyone in battle. Francis did as his Emperor ordered, and studied as though his life depended on it, growing especially talented in the area of tactics and strategy. As a result, his deeds on the battlefield were great, and he eventually rose to the rank of Minister of Military Affairs.
So I should take a page out of Francis's book, right?
So long as you don't mean literally, yes. Incidentally, the words the Emperor used to praise Francis were memorable enough to have survived even to this day. With the passing of 5 sunrises and 5 sunsets, even the meanest soldier may burgeon into a peerless commander. It means if you study hard for 5 days, even a common soldier can become a great general who commands an entire army.
5 days? That's nowhere near enough time. It'd take me 5 days just to read 1 book. You gotta at least give me until the end of the war.
But by that point, won't your chances to distinguish yourself in battle have already passed?
Oh, you're right. What am I gonna do, Dorothea?
Well, I suppose I have no choice but to help you. Who knows? I might even learn something.
You're the best. Thank you.
Ah, Bernadetta. I see the documents I was waiting for have finally arrived.
Hubert! I'm not doing anything bad!
Then would you be so kind as to hand those over? They are addressed to me, after all.
Oh, right. Edelgard asked me to bring them. Phew, that was heavy. What are all these documents anyway?
Old records of bandit activity in this area that I need for my investigation.
Hey, that reminds me. I heard we had a group of bandits cornered, but they sort of got away.
Yes, a most vexing development. It beggars belief that our troops prove unable to exterminate even these few stray vermin.
Wait, are you angry?
Oh, I doubt it is worth raising my ire over.
That's good. But you look like you're angry.
Bernadetta, are you aware of how your persistence often leads to the very outcome you wish to avoid?
Yes?
In any event, my mood is what it is because I must now locate a den of rats. I will need to research previous stomping grounds, then cross-reference the location of their old lairs in order to work out where this new one might be.
Wow, that sounds like a ton of work.
Yes, but there is nothing for it. These craven rats will not re-emerge once they've burrowed into their nests.
Hey, neat! I definitely understand the desire to burrow in somewhere and never come out. But when there are festivals and stuff, they might slip up and leave? Maybe? Possibly? Everyone loves festivals, except when there are people around, which is usually the case.
Somehow I suspect you would not emerge for even the most magnificent of carnivals. However, you and the rats may differ on that point.
We do what now?
Yes, of course. Unlike you, these thieves have no particular desire to live away from others. We have had them on the run for some time, which means they've not been able to earn coin through their usual underhanded work. Thus, if I were to prepare a place where they could cut a few easy purses, they might consider the spoils to be worth the risk.
Okay.
And the bait shall be a festival. Due to the war, we have not held a genuine festival for quite some time, after all. So even if we do not capture the rodents, and it merely brings much-needed succor to the people, I would still consider it a success. Well done, Bernadetta. You have come up with a splendid idea that eluded even myself.
Why are you complimenting me out of nowhere? Are you plotting against me?
Not particularly, no. Although I am thinking I will require your assistance in this matter from now on.
No! Someone free poor Bernie from this torment!
Now, time for a break. Let us concentrate our efforts on rousing conversation. Afterwards, I say we reward ourselves with a gripping training session and crown the evening with a meal well-deserving of our ravenous appetites. Is something amiss?
I don't know. It feels like you might be leaning a little too hard on the whole giving your all thing. You didn't used to be like this. I know you want to do your best, but it's starting to feel like I can't even relax when I'm with you.
Perhaps you are right. I have been feeling rather restless lately. My father disappeared during the raid on Enbar, as you know. I have no idea where he is or what he's doing at this moment. Had I only the conviction to execute him, he would not have escaped. A fair share of the responsibility lies at my feet. At times like these, devoting myself fully to what few things I can do is all that keeps me going. Otherwise, I would simply succumb to the reality of how powerless I truly am. The pressure is immense.
Now that you mention it, I think I finally know what was feeling off about you. It's that pressure forcing you to keep your guard up, like you're constantly braced for the worst. Take your breaks, for example. It never looks like you're doing anything even resembling relaxing. I wouldn't worry about your father, though. I know you'll find the right solution.
I appreciate your counsel. I feel as though I have gained some valuable new insight into myself. After all, one can hardly notice the changes they undergo as they happen. It seems partnering with you is the right decision. Your advocacy for maximal effort continues to be an inspiration.
Oh, I wasn't really trying to give you advice or anything, and that's definitely not what I'm advocating for. But if what I said helped, then I'm glad I could be there for you. I just hope you can start cutting yourself a little slack. Your future's bright, Ferdinand.
A veritable wellspring of advice as always. I am deeply obliged.
As long as you're feeling better. I mean, war councils are grim already, but they'd be practically unbearable with you sulking around the place. And really, it was nothing. Just here to help.
Nothing? If ever there is a time to give it one's all, it is when expressing gratitude. It seems you could learn something from me as well. And just you watch. I swear on the Iron Name, I will surpass my father in the most stunning fashion.
He's never gonna learn, is he?
You're in better spirits than I expected. You look at least 2 shades less pale than you did after the battle at Fort Mercius.
Oh, but your majesty does enjoy telling it like it is. Would it be the end of you to show a little compassion? No. Then you would just be pitying me. I do not know which is worse. Regardless, I am well. Thank you for noticing. Ask of me what you will, and I shall see it done.
I don't need anything from you, Ferdinand. Or at least not in that way. Just give me your usual effort, and that should be enough to get us through the upcoming battle.
You can count on me. Point me at a foe, and I will dispatch them with all haste. I cannot afford to die now, or my page in the history books will end in a most horrid fashion. Plagued by the guilt of striking down his father, Ferdinand welcomed the cold embrace of death on the battlefield. Or some such hogwash. Yes, I killed my father. And I would be a liar if I said it did not wound me nearly beyond reckoning. But I will not hate myself for it. It was the correct choice. I did the right thing.
Well, don't feel too bad. Imagine what they would write about me if we lose this war. Despite her futile attempts to wrest power from the Prime Minister, the Emperor's people turned against her and her life ended in abject failure. The end. I know exactly what the world would say of me, which is why I have no intention of losing.
I will not permit such a thing to happen. If ever my life were to be weighed against yours, I would gladly perish in ignominy if it meant keeping you alive and well. What? Did I say something amusing?
No, it's just... You're so strong, so proud. If all the world's nobles were like you, there would be no need to dismantle the aristocracy. That's all. I know it's a futile thought.
Nothing is futile. Though even I must admit it seems to be so, given the circumstances. Still, you vastly underestimate the potential of the aristocracy. For generations, our ancestors worked hand in hand, sharing knowledge and wisdom to administer our great land and ensure it was well protected. They acquired knowledge of the region and developed good policies to rule it. And in doing so, they earned the trust of the people. We cannot throw away everything they have built. It would be folly.
Of course not. What do you take me for? I'm dismantling the aristocracy, not their legacy. The common folk will take up the torch and carry on.
Do you believe they are ready? No matter how gifted they may be, they are only commoners. In order to replace the nobility, they need to be educated. Wait a moment. I see your plan now. You intend to establish a school. One that is not merely for nobles and wealthy merchant children, like the Officers' Academy once was. A school where anyone can enroll, regardless of wealth or standing, and get an education rivaling that of any noble.
Ferdinand? I cannot begin to guess where that idea sprung from. But this is exactly why I need you beside me as we shape the future of Adrestia.
You mean to say that you did not actually... So I was... Well, it is nice to be needed.
Wow, that was amazing! You really know your way around a sword!
Oh, hey, Caspar. You were looking pretty good yourself. Wait, haven't we had this conversation before?
I don't know. Must be because you're always sweeping the floor out there. Looks like I've still got my work cut out if I ever want to catch up to you.
Hey, come on. I'd never be able to do what I do if I didn't see how hard you were pushing.
Yeah, again with the sore winner stuff. Talk down to me all you want, I'm still gonna beat you. Anyway, let's get back to training. I'm gonna really knock your socks off this time.
Bring it on! Actually, hold on a sec.
Come on, what's the big idea? Just trying to throw me off my game?
That's not it. I was just thinking, we've been training together a lot lately. But if we're doing all the same drills at all the same intensity, then aren't we just gonna get stronger at the same rate? Nobody's closing any gaps, that's for sure.
Oh, you do have a point. Yeah, definitely have a point. But you know what? I don't care.
You don't?
Nope. I mean, I don't want to run off and do some cool secret training without you. Sounds boring if you ask me. Or sorta cheating? I want to face you head on. Same drills or not, I'm gonna blow past you no problem. Well, you fired up now?
Fired up? Friend, I'm the flames. And trust me, you're about to get burned.
Only one way to find out, and I'm putting my bet down on old Caspar.
It's incredible just how focused you are, Caspar. I'm honestly kinda impressed. There aren't many people like you joining up with mercenary groups, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah? I'd have no idea myself. But hey, let's both give this our best shot. The tougher we get, the quicker we can end this war once and for all.
And at the end of the day, that's the goal here. Let's never lose sight of that.
Is something wrong, Ferdinand? You're staring quite intently at those plants while you water them.
I was merely reflecting on something I saw long ago in Enbar.
Oh? What would that be?
In truth, it is nothing noteworthy. Back when I was a child, I saw a water nymph dancing and singing in a fountain along the main street. She was radiant, brilliant in the dewy light of the sun. But as an immature young lad, I grew embarrassed and ran away.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
And you're sure of what you saw? A water nymph?
Absolutely. Her song resonated within me. It was a bucolic tune sung by common folk around the capital. As I recall, she had not been wearing so much as a scrap of clothing. Anyway, once I finally mustered up the courage to return, the nymph had vanished.
Such a tale hardly seems possible.
What? That's the reason Ferdy ran away that day? No way. I've been wrong about him this whole time? I I mean, considering how I must have looked in that fountain. Oh no. I can't even begin to face him right now. I have to go back.
Is that Dorothea? I wonder what she's doing over there.
He's seen me. All right, Dorothea, just be calm. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Why, if it isn't Ferdy and 80, what a coincidence to bump into the two of you here.
Dorothea, your face is red.
Yes, indeed it is. Do you have a fever?
Really? I feel fine, but... Well, I was just coming to check on things, but since it all checks out, I'll be going. Bye!
Wait, you could suddenly take a turn for the worse. So, I will escort you back.
No, I'm fine. I'm not going far.
Yet still too far to travel alone. If something were to happen to you, it would already be too late. Come now, take my arm. Or if it please you, I could carry you there.
Enough! I am perfectly fine, so just mind your own business and stay away from me.
No one appreciates obstinance, Ferdinand.
Apologies. Although, given the intensity of her rebuff, I worry she may not have liked me to begin with. Have I committed some grave wrong against her? What should I do?
Excuse me. May I ask for your ear?
Sure thing. What's on your mind?
I have the desire to be learning more about mercenaries. It is a subject of much fascination to me.
Sure, I guess. But I think you've heard most of the exciting bits by now.
Nonsense. Each word you speak is full of excitement. Please give me more illumination. For example, are you receiving payment for your work here?
Sure, me and Edelgard have a contract. Lucrative one too, as these things go. Guess the boss thinks pretty highly of me.
You said money was of importance for people who sell their swords. But what if an enemy offered a bigger payment? Would you be taking it?
You need more than that to get a true merc to switch sides. Still, if an enemy can outbid your current employer, it means they've got a good shot at winning. And nobody who enjoys breathing wants to wind up on the losing side.
So in Fódlan, one must try to be allies with the side that has more richness?
See, that's the thing. Trust is its own currency, too. I mean, let's say someone shows up with a pile of gold and asks you to switch sides. Tempting, right? But you gotta be careful. You could take them up on their offer, only to learn that the money was just bait, and the guy actually wants you dead. And to make things worse, the honest employer you just stabbed in the back now knows you're as reliable as a three-legged horse. Point is, integrity means more to a mercenary than money. Probably should have led with that, actually.
I have understanding. Trust is of importance to everyone, but that has even more truth for a seller of swords.
You got it. Oh, and trust me, folks who hire for the best jobs make sure to know everything about you before extending the offer. But there's a flip side to that coin. If you're the type of employer who likes to leave mercs in the lurch, you better believe that word'll get around. Hard enough to stay alive without that nonsense.
That is a thing we all share in common. We wish to keep breathing, as you said. And what if I was offering a job? We are on the same side. Would that be betrayal? Bridget is a land of richness. We can offer much in exchange for the selling of your sword.
Sorry, Petra. I'm off the market until I see my current contract through. Also, didn't we just get done discussing how terrible it is to abandon a job before it's done?
I knew you would be declining. You are the model of a mercenary.
Yes, that looks right.
Why, hello, Linhart. It is not often I find you drawing outside.
I'm not drawing. I'm simply trying to capture this wyvern's form. See? It's resting on that hill over there.
Ah, an extraordinary sight indeed. Now then, let us see what you have done so far. I must say, it feels as though something is lacking in your work. How can I describe it? Your depiction is almost too accurate. Take these scales, for example. Why, they could have been plucked from the very wyvern itself.
I told you this isn't art. I'm doing it for my research. And when conducting research, it's always best to have precise references. The same is true when dealing with numbers or gathering information.
I see. So you value accuracy above all else.
Right. Honestly, I've never quite understood art anyway. So I'm perfectly content leaving that sort of thing to the true creatives. You know, the quirky ones. People like Bernadetta.
Even so, there may come a day when your work is seen as the craft of a master artisan, when such precision is lauded as the height of aesthetic genius.
What makes you say that?
Oh, merely a passing thought. Perhaps in the distant future, connoisseurs will value accuracy and attention to detail over the magnificent interpretive pieces we hold dear today.
Do you really think that'll happen, though? I doubt people will ever stop appreciating the ancient classics. You certainly have always done so.
Yes, there is no denying that. But I fear my own personal inclinations hold little sway over public opinion. Nobody knows what trends may arise in the decades and centuries to come. So I can indeed envision a future in which accurate depictions are praised just the same as the greats of old. And I encourage you to do the same, my friend.
I don't get it. How are you so optimistic all the time? It's like you're constantly looking toward the future.
I could say quite the same about you. I have always believed you to be rather forward-thinking.
That's not optimism, though. All I'm thinking forward to is the time when I can just sleep the days away. That's why I'm forcing myself to be as active as I can now.
Regrettably, those halcyon days of slumber are still but a distant dream. I have much work for you, both now and further down the road. To begin with, might I ask you to paint my portrait?
For the last time, I'm a researcher, not an artist. Are you sure you want such a faithful depiction?
That is exactly what I want. How else would my yet unborn descendants know the true visage of the great Ferdinand von Aegir? Indeed, I would be proud to submit myself as a subject of your research. Consider it a study in the personification of nobility itself.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm fine drawing you, but I don't have the slightest modicum of interest in actually researching you. Though, I do sometimes wonder where you get all that unabashed confidence from.
Perhaps I will ask Edelgard to handle this matter. As for this one, it seems as though I have no choice but to do it myself. If only I could spare the time.
Hey, Ferdinand. You should probably think about getting some sleep. That's an order, actually, from Hubert. But I agree with him.
My apologies. My list of responsibilities has grown rather unwieldy of late. Exhausted as I may be, I will be done here shortly. You need not fret.
Ferdinand, come on. I thought you were supposed to be giving everything your all. If you're really that tired, how are you going to be in any shape for what's coming tomorrow? Go on and give your all to a good night's sleep.
Yes, you are right. How could I, of all people, not realize the error in my ways? I shall take that to heart.
Glad to hear you're coming around. Oh, and finish fast, okay? Here, I'll even help. I don't want to go to bed just to find out you stayed up all night working. Let me just...
Wait.
What's up?
Never mind. Thank you for the concern. I will be sure to convey my gratitude to Hubert later as well.
Don't forget. He's really worried about you, you know.
Is he now? Usually he finds any occasion to criticize me.
Same here.
Is that so? And here I thought he had taken a shine to you.
If he has, he sure doesn't show it.
Before I forget, what would you think about coordinating our schedules tomorrow? I've been so absorbed in my work of late, we've scarcely had the chance to spend time together. I have been pouring all of my effort into rising early, training, eating, and in the process, I have neglected our friendship. As fellow advocates of giving one's all to all of life's pursuits, I say we work together to draw out each other's dormant potential.
Works for me. My schedule's pretty light these days. It'll be good to spend some time together. But just so we're clear, we are not on the same page with this whole giving our all thing.
Splendid! This should serve as all the motivation I need to continue pressing onward undaunted. And with that settled, I believe it is time for us to devote ourselves fully to a tranquil slumber. Come, our lump-riddled camp beds await our zealous efforts.
Okay, this time you are joking, right? It's seriously impossible to tell with you sometimes. And that reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Ferdy, right? He does love his tea.
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas. It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
It'd be good if that's how things worked.
You think it's not?
Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. What I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. Will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure. What's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them. Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
That might be true, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So many people would kill to be able to do what you can do. So don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder.
I'm tired. Time to find a good spot for a nap. Bernadetta? Why are you skulking in the weeds?
No reason! Not getting in the way of two people's love at all! No, sir!
Huh? But I'm alone here. Ah, I see. That.
Yeah, that! I was out walking when I saw them! A man and a woman together in the woods, getting, hated.
Well, neither of them seems to be dead yet.
They're on a secret date, you dummy! Not fighting!
Regardless, how does two lovers stealing a moment alone lead to you curled up here in the fetal position?
Because I'm hiding! I mean, if I messed up their date, they might try to get revenge on me!
Relax. To them, you're no different than a pebble on the side of the road.
Hey, I'm not a pebble! I mean, sure, sometimes I wish I was just a rock, but...
Then just roll away quietly and you'll be fine.
Just roll away quietly. Hey, yeah! Wait, no! They'd see me! Stop trying to get me killed!
We've made enough racket over here to raise the dead and they haven't even noticed. I think it's safe to say they're off in their own little world. Still, good for them, sharing words of love when either one could die tomorrow.
Wait, they could die tomorrow?
They're both soldiers who serve on the front lines. I doubt a rosy future awaits them.
No! That's not true! Couples swearing their love and defying destiny are a staple of classic fiction!
Sure, but the fact it wouldn't happen in reality is what makes it such a good story, right?
Wait, but there are tons of stories where two people who have sworn their love don't ever meet again.
Likely because that's something people are familiar with from their own lives.
Okay, so which is it? I believe those two can be happy together, so they can, right?
I hope that's the case, but reality is cruel. Anyway, I've talked myself right to sleep.
Huh? Come on, don't sleep there! Uh-oh. Guess I'd better try that turn into a pebble and roll away quietly plan.
La 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 la.
Is that Lady Dorothea?
Oh, it is!
Hello, Monica. Oh, is something wrong? Well, I was wondering. Are you the same Lady Dorothea who is known as the mystical songstress? Well, yes, I suppose I am. Did you not know that?
Not at first.
Although it made perfect sense once I finally realized it, I find it difficult to believe it's really you.
Well, I'm certainly not doing a lot of songstressy things here in the army, so I'm not surprised it took you a bit to put two and two together.
But it should not have taken me this long. You have the same name, and you carry yourself in the same dignified manner as the Lady Dorothea I saw in the capital. I can't believe you're right in front of me. The excitement is so great I can barely stand.
Oh, please, that's all in the past. Now I'm just another one of your allies.
No, you're different. There wasn't a girl in the capital who didn't want to be you. I spent years trying to find a ticket to one of your performances. But when I finally found one, I ended up in a seat where I couldn't see the stage very well. It was so far back, I could barely even make out your face, or the rest of you for that matter. That's likely why I failed to recognize you at first.
Well, I'm certainly pleased you came to see me, and I'm sorry the seat was less than ideal.
Oh, but the costumes and stagecraft were more gorgeous and stirring than I ever could have imagined. Your songs captivated me. They reached out from the center of the stage all the way back to me in my little corner of the opera house. Just thinking about it puts a smile on my face.
You were a more passionate listener than I would have imagined, Monica. Moni? Still with me?
Oh, my apologies, Lady Dorothea. I was sort of carried off by a wave of memories there.
It's fine, but, can we maybe stop with all of the lady stuff? I find it a little unsettling.
Well, all right, Dorothea. You know, I'm somewhat surprised you didn't return to the opera company once the war broke out.
You're not the only one. Adie and I being classmates was a big part of why I stayed, but suffice it to say that a lot happened, and now I'm here.
It's a great honor to fight alongside you, Lady Dorothea.
Maybe I should just return the favor and start calling you Lady Monica.